All right. Now we're doing 6Q Columnize. This is by Bayaz from Bauz, and 95% of people like it. So we are given an array of strings that need to be spread among in columns, right? Each column's width should be the same as the length of the longest string inside it. All right. So we're going to separate the columns with the pipe and that's surrounded by spaces and lines with these line breaks. Content should be left justified like this. So the first element is always, or the first, you know what I'm saying, the first character is always to the left. All right. And then also there's going to be these spaces we got to deal with also. We have to make sure that each one of these is followed by these number of spaces, whatever the difference is. Hopefully that makes sense. So here's what one column would look like. Here's what two columns would look like. And then here's what four columns would look like right here. So it would be one column, two column, three columns, four. So we'd go from here and then we'd start it. We'd do a line break right here and do the thing again on the next line. All right. So for this, what we're going to do, we're going to start off by declaring a result variable. We're not going to do it in concise syntax. I still haven't figured out a way to do it because it's a double for loop and it needs a lot of variables declared. So we're going to say first, we let result equal empty string, right? So that's going to be the thing with the like this plus all these spaces plus this thing, plus the line breaks and all that other stuff. All right, so we're going to do that first. And then after that, we're going to create an array. We're going to say, let's say array. Yeah. No, let's call it the column lengths. All right, actually widths. All right, so it's going to be basically the widths of the columns once we have them picked out. So like the width of this one is going to be 6, the width of this one is 5, the width of this one 6, and so on. All right. So column widths now equals, and then we're going to do the array constructor. We'll just say array, and we're going to make it in length. All right. So whatever in is, like 1 here, 2 here, and whatever. And then we're going to also fill it with zeros. Fill with zeros. All right. So that we can replace it. We can replace whatever with whatever. All right. So we've got that. And now we're going to do a couple for loops. So we're going to do the first for loop. We're going to say let I equal 0. While I is less than items dot length. We're going to say I++. Now let's go back. Let's comment this out for a second and see what items looks like. So let's do a console.log items like that. Let's test that out. And you see this is the list of the items. There are pretty much all of these right down here. So let's also look at the column widths while we're at it. So let's do console.log column widths. So test that out. And you see now we've got all these column widths, and at the beginning it's going to be 0. There's even one with a bunch of them, and so on and so forth. All right. So now that we see that, let's bring it back up the for loop. So we're going through that items list. I should have left it up there. Whatever, no big deal. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say also we're going to go, since we're going to be going through this each column, we're going to have to iterate through that. So we're going to say let j now equal I remainder operator in. All right. So whenever it's a remainder or whatever, it's going to go to the specific column. Hopefully we're in 6Q. You should have seen this by now. All right. So what we're going to do here, after we declare that, we're going to do column lengths, column widths at j. we're going to say column width's at J, so whatever column it's on right now, we're going to say that now equals, what are we going to say? That now equals the math.max. We're going to be using math.max. The link will be in the description. And between that, we're going to say if whatever's column width's at J, so 0 initially, but column widths at J. So it's going to be checking to see if this or whatever the length of this is bigger. Is that bigger, or is items at I.length bigger? And whichever one it is, we're going to put that in there, all right? And now let's do console.log column widths again. Console.log column widths. Let's test that out. All right, and you see it goes from 1 to 6 through the thing, and then it says 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then 6 right here. All right, so that's working pretty well. All right, so now that we've got that taken care of, we're going to make another for loop outside of this one. So we're going to say for, and we're going to say let I equal 0. We're going to iterate through items again. So items.length. Well, I is less than that. We'll say I++, all right? And then we're going to, on this one, we're going to declare the J thing again. We're going to say let J equal I, remainder operator in, all right? And then after this, we're going to do some if statements. So we're going to say if I is greater than 0 and, what are we going to do here? And J is equal to 0, what we're going to do is we're going to say result plus equals, and then this is where we do the line break. So we're going to say plus equals the line break right here. Is it like that? No, it's like this. All right. So now that we've got that, we're going to also do an else if, just in case we need to put, for when we need to put the pipes in. Which there was like these. Whenever we need to put this thing in. All right. So what we're going to do here is say else if, and then we'll say if I is greater than 0, we're just going to say result plus equals, and then we'll do the little space pipe space thing. All right. So if it's equal, so if we're at, what is it? If I is greater than 0 and J is equal to 0, like in this case right here, we're going to add this to the end of it. So we'll add this to the end of this right here. All right. And then so on and so forth. So, and then we'll add these if it's the end, but it's not, excuse me, not those. This is the padding. And this is the space, pipe space. All right, anyway, so now that we've got that going on, let's do a console.log results. Console.log results to see what happens. Test that out. Okay, item is not defined. Item. Where did I put item? Oh no, items, item. There we go. There we go. Test it out. All right, so now we've got the pipes set up like that. Now all we got to do is add the strings. So for that, we're going to say inside this for loop, we're going to say result plus equals, and then we'll say items at I. All right, and then we're going to also add the padding at the end of it. So dot pad start, pad end. We've got the pad end right here. If you want to check it out, we'll have the link in the description. And what we'll put on there is columns, column widths at J. What are we going to do here? And then we'll add the space. So we'll say, put a space in there. So now let's do a console.log result after that. Console.log result. Test that out. All right, and you see this is what it does through each iteration, and it finally ends up with something like this. All right, so now all we got to do is return it. So let's say after this, return result. So test that out. What happened? Column widths, pad end, item. What's the problem? What is going on here? What is going on here is there's too many spaces right here. Okay, test it out. All right, cool, awesome. And attempt it. I'm gonna have to edit this one up and submit it. All right, so there we go. We've got L. Peters right here. I mean, it looks good. It's nice and concise, but the thing is, this here, something about it. There's something about it. There's like a map. This map right here goes through it every single time. And you saw there was one with 899. This thing, I don't know. I didn't run it, but I'm sure this thing looks like it would be like super slow. But you know, whatever. And this one, let's see what's going on here. Basically, this is me. So let's check out this one. So this is doing an if statement right here, and then math ceiling, and then a lot of other stuff. And I mean, here's a one-liner. Here's a one-liner, but it's a horrible one-liner. Anyway, you can check out the rest if you want to. Let's go over to mine. Just me on this one. Best practice in my opinion. I should have took that console.log off, but whatever. And very much like it. And we'll see you next time.